Hey, this is Kristin.
And this is Aaron. And this is Drive Mode Show. What are we talking about?
Today, let's talk about automotive design. Getting fancy.
Favorite.
Let's talk a little bit about the design of headlamps and taillights specifically because they're very distinctive, right? Every manufacturer, every vehicle has its own set of designs. And I want to know, what have you found out about that?
Well, first off, most manufacturers, most automotive PR, so most of the stuff that you see around automotive, including design, has a whole lot to do with branding. So the sun got really bright, and I'm washed out. Oh. Anyway, it's a lot about branding. So automakers want to have a specific look that says that's us. So you see a Nissan like the one behind me, you see the V-Motion grille. So it's the grille work that's set in this shape, and the headlights that are always coming off of it at a slight angle. That is a Nissan thing. You'll see it in every one of their models now. You go to BMW, the kidney grille, always there. You go to, say, Chevy, they always have the square design on their trucks. So all Chevy
Lexus,
trucks and most of the SUVs, very square. Just every brand has something that they do to make their vehicle look a certain way so that you know it's theirs. Dodge has taillights. Always look like a Dodge taillight. You'll never mistake it for anything else. That's brand continuity. Then you have the shared parts. It saves money to have a whole bunch of the same parts on different vehicles. So
True.
All that comes together. So if I name a brand, so I'll go with, say, Volkswagen. Or, yeah, let's go with Volkswagen. What do you immediately think of in terms of shape for a Volkswagen, Kristin?
For Volkswagen, I think sleek. I think curved. And there's a psychology behind that as well, because I just did a story for the Points Guy on aircraft interior design and the psychology of that, and it has to do with the way, the calming way and the way people feel about the lines. So it's really interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I know with cars, so Volkswagen is a really good example of an overall shape. In design terms, there's a name for it. And it's basically the silhouette. So it's the shape of the vehicle. If you were to just put it in front of a white screen, draw a line that's the shape of the top of the car, and then across the bottom, and then remove the car, that's the silhouette, those lines. And they always have a specific weight to them. So the vehicle will be weighted, so you can break it into 2 parts, 3 parts, or more. Usually it's 3, so you have a front, a middle, and a back. Some cars there's only 2. Occasionally there's 4. You'll see that mostly with very large vehicles like pickup trucks, big SUVs. And doing that, what they do is you create a balance, and you want to see that balance. Otherwise, the car looks wrong. Something looks off. And then the silhouette line with Volkswagen specifically, you also see it in BMW. That silhouette line denotes forward movement. If you look at it, it's moving forward, and that's a very common theme in cars, especially. And then the headlights and the taillights play into that. So right now, the most common rear end for a sedan or hatchback is to try to get a fastback look. So you want that clipped bumper, so there's clipped deck lids, so that there's almost no trunk, right? You don't want a trunk sticking out. You want it very fast, and that fastback look pushes the car forward, makes it look weighted forward, which means in your head it's moving faster. Those are all things that designers do, and it's really cool that as a car person I can drive down the road and I can see every oncoming car, and because of the front grille and the design, I can almost always immediately go Kia or
Yeah.
Hyundai.
I
know?
test myself on the road sometimes, when
Yeah.
they're far away. I'll say, what shape is that? And the Lexus is very much an iconic grille, and that one's
Right.
easy to spot. Some of them look a little more similar to others. I think about all the different touches, but also the evolution of design over the last, since the 50s especially. I'm thinking about, the sharp fin corners. And for the 59 Chevy, it had the triple tail lamps in the back that stuck out.
Right.
They're very, very prominent. And now it's a lot more about aerodynamics. When I was at the Nissan Titan Drive this week, the wheels they have are highly rated in terms of design, and they have the flat surfaces that created for aerodynamic qualities. And they're beautiful. I pay attention. I look at the wheels. Every wheel is different for every model. Every taillight is different. Or in the Hellcat that I just had, it had the little etching of the Hellcat logo inside the headlamp, which I think is also cool.
Yeah, Jeep does that a lot too, where they have a little Jeep inside headlamps, tail lamps. Jeep always has an X on the back for a tail lamp. Those
Right.
things. Yeah, it's interesting to see, and it's fun because you can go down the road and just seeing certain things. You see that. So you see a thin slotted grille that's in three pieces, so it has two openings and then a wide middle part, and it kind of goes slightly upwards, almost a smile, and it has a round in the middle, and you immediately go, that's a Toyota, because you just know, because you see it so often, and we don't tend to think about these things unless you're like us, and then you're kind of obsessed.
Car nerds.
But for normal everyday people, you don't really think about the fact that you probably know all these car brands as well as say, the Nike swoosh, the Coca-Cola writing, the Pepsi round. You know the auto brands almost just as well, and there's reason for that.
Yeah, and the design is also becoming more form and function. The way the air vents are set up, the way the aerodynamics are designed. So I think it's a fascinating topic.
A lot of people don't know that one of the reasons that grills have shrunk, so the actual opening for the grill for things to go through is smaller and smaller, isn't because engines are more efficient and don't need as much air. It's actually because the scoop below it has gotten larger. So you'll see, if you look down on the car, you'll see that spot that's supposed to be underneath the bumper. That's gotten bigger and bigger as an air intake. And that's for aerodynamics, 100% for aerodynamics. Because air coming up under is more efficient than air hitting. So that's...
Same with the airplanes.
Yep.
So we love things that go.
Yeah. And so that's what we got. I don't know if you have anything else to say about this, but it's, throughout this you've been seeing some kind of collages, movement of photos to illustrate different designs from different manufacturers, different brands, and what the headlights, taillights, and even sometimes the silhouette does to make you immediately know what kind of car that is.
And people have definite opinions. They'll swipe left and swipe right on designs they don't feel good about.
Right. But whatever
Makes a
you do,
difference.
give us a thumbs up.
Thanks for watching today. This has been Kristin.
And this has been Aaron, and this was the Drive Mode Show that you're going to subscribe to.
Subscribe. See you
Hit the
later.
bell.